Welcome back to the GCN Racing News Show. This week we've got World Cup action in Cyclo-Cross and over on the board. We've got the final World Tour race of the year in China at the Tour de Guangxi, the Japan Cup, a number of transfers and retirements, including our very own Oscar Pujol, whilst Andrea Tafi looks to come out of retirement at the ripe old age of 52. Plus, Rigoberto Urán ends his season with an absolutely incredible performance. After the lows of this summer at the Tour de France, Team Sky's Gianni Moscon ended his season on a high with a win at the last World Tour event of the year, the 6-day Tour de Guangxi over in China. Moscon has set up his overall victory by winning the uphill finish on stage 4, where he took a solo win 5 seconds in front of Felix Grosschartner of Bora, Hansgrohe. Team Sky then defended his lead over the rain-soaked and crash-marred final 2 stages. Stage 5 won by Matteo Trentin of Mitchelton Scott, his first victory as European champion, and Stage 6 by Fabio Jakobsen, who delivered Quickstep's 72nd and 73rd wins of the year at that race. Quite an incredible season, but not quite up to the standards of Columbia High Road, who, according to Café Roubaix over on Twitter, took 77 wins in 2008 and a staggering 85 in 2009. In that same race, Ryan Mullen fulfilled a dream, or possibly a nightmare, by getting himself into a day-long breakaway with the Panzerwagon himself, Tony Martin of Team Katusha, on stage 5. He described it as a fun day out, so I'm not sure many others would have it quite so enjoyable. The race also marked the end of a great season for 25-year-old Cuban rider Arlenis Sierra of Team Astana. She won the one-day women's event in a sprint finish ahead of Hannah Barnes. Then, at the post-race UCI Gala dinner, Annemiek van Vleuten and Simon Yates were awarded their trophies as winners of the Women's and Men's World Tour rankings for 2018. Both have had big wins, obviously, this year, the Giro Rosa for van Vleuten and the Vuelta for Yates, but it was their consistency throughout the season which netted them their awards, although ironically neither managed to finish their final race in Guangxi. The Japan Cup has become almost a traditional season closer since its inception back in 1992. At this point in the season, it's really a test of motivation as much as legs. However, this year's event was won by Robert Power. He'd attacked a small group of riders on the last climb and eventually outsprinted Antoine Tolhoek of Team Lotto NL Jumbo to the line. That, in fact, was the last race for Power in Mitchelton Scott colours. He'll be racing for Team Sunweb for the next 2 seasons. The race also marked the end of 2 long careers. Simon Gerrans of Team BMC, who's notched up an impressive palmares over the years, including 2 monument wins, Milan-San Remo and Liège-Bastogne-Liège, plus stage wins in all of the Grand Tours. Congratulations to you, Simon. And it also marked the last professional event for our very own Oscar Pujol, who will now be full-time over on GCN on Español. Although first he'll be attempting to win the Taiwan KOM Challenge for a second time. Another rider actually who's just retired is Gregory Rast. He called it a day after the Tour de Guangxi and will go on to be a sports director with his team Trek Segafredo next year. However, trying to come out of retirement, astonishingly, is 52-year-old Andrea Tafi. This was reported in La Gazzetta dello Sport last week. Apparently he's trying to make a comeback in order to race at Paris-Roubaix one more time. That is an event that he won all the way back in 1999. There's no certainty right now that he will find a team for 2019, but if he does, I think that'd be a really cool story. I hope he does. It would give us all hope, wouldn't it? Talking of transfers, Tony Martin and Lotto NL Jumbo have confirmed a 2-year deal. Edward Tunes has broken his Team Sunweb contract a year early to go back to Trek Segafredo, whilst Jonathan Narvaez has also broken his contract with Quickstep to head to Team Sky, who have also welcomed back Ben Swift. Quite the merry-go-round, although there are still apparently a lot of riders currently without a job for 2019. The Cyclo-Cross season continued at the weekend with the second round of the Super Prestige in Boom on Saturday, whilst the World Cup made a return to Switzerland, in Bern to be specific, the following day. On the men's side, it was yet another display of dominance from Mathieu van der Poel. In Boom, he did just enough, getting the better of World Cup leader Toon Aerts by 4 seconds, whilst the following day he took advantage of a drop chain for world champion Wout van Aert, putting in a scintillating lap where Van der Poel averaged over 30 kilometres per hour. His margin of victory in the end was 8 seconds on the day. World champion Van Aert had decided to skip the Super Prestige the previous day, so it was another frustrating result for him, although he did pick up his first win of the Cyclo-Cross season on Thursday at the Kermes Cross in Ardui. In coming in third, Toon Aerts does retain the overall series lead in the World Cup by 15 points from Van Aert. Marianne Vos was another rider to skip the Super Prestige on Saturday, but it did pay off for her. She'd reversed the results from last weekend by getting the better of 22-year-old Anne-Marie Verst, who's having an incredible season so far, it has to be said. US champion Katie Compton rounded out the podium in 3rd place on that day. The previous day, though, in Boom, 32-year-old Kim van der Steyne of Tartaletto Isoflex took the biggest win of her career. She came home 27 seconds to the good of Alice Arfuzzi, riding for 777 Steylarts. Then over at the Track World Cup in France, 6 different nations won the 6 titles that were on offer on day 1. Australia came out on top in the women's team pursuit with a time of 4 minutes and 17 seconds, beating New Zealand by just half a second. A stellar performance though for the latter, who set a new national record, beating their time from the Rio Olympic Games a couple of years ago. Kirstenville took a convincing Omnium win following a formidable World Championships in Apeldoorn earlier this year, where she took the triple crown of gold in the point, scratch and Omnium. However, one of the most dominant performances came from the Danish pairing of Michael Morkov and Lasse Norman Hansen. They took the win in the Madison, which was particularly impressive given it was Morkov's first Track World Cup for 10 years. Australia overall topped the medal table with 3 golds, 1 for Matthew Gleitzer and 2 for Ashley Arkudinov, including that team pursuit gold medal. Gleitzer managed to get the better of Harry Lavreysen in the final of the sprint, but the young Dutchman had qualified fastest. Now, it takes a lot to impress Sir Chris Hoy, but in covering the 200 metres in 9.49 seconds, it certainly got his attention. And when you look at the average speed there of almost 76 kilometres per hour, it's quite easy to see why. Great Britain, meanwhile, fell just short of gold and came away with 5 silver medals. Jason Kenny and Laura Kenny, though, will be lining up on the start line in Milton, Canada at the next round of the World Cup. And with 10 Olympic titles between them, that could shake things up a bit. Lotto Soudal duo Tim Bellens and Thomas De Gendt have arrived home in Belgium finally. As Si mentioned on last week's show, they were the latest professional riders to do something a little bit different, riding the 1,000-kilometre journey from northern Italy straight after Il Lombardia. It's yet another example of how we like to see professional riders just enjoying riding their bikes. No numbers, no rankings, just going back to how we all started. And you can imagine it's also a breath of fresh air for them too. Stunning views, incredible riding, and no pressure whatsoever. On a similar subject, and kind of off the back of last week's show where we discussed EF Education First embarking on some new events in 2019, it appears that Rigoberto Urán has quickly got the message about gaining publicity wherever you can. He's got the moves like Jagger, hasn't he? I can see him on Strictly Come Dancing in the next few years, perhaps wearing a Rafa skin suit. In all seriousness, looking at your responses under last week's show was quite interesting. It appears that almost all of you are very much looking forward to seeing the pros ride some alternative events next season. And I have to say, I am too. Right, that is all for this week's Racing News Show. We've got more live racing for you this coming weekend though, with the Soudal Classics cross race from Neerpelt on Saturday and the next round of the Super Prestige in Ruddervoorde on Sunday. Head over to our Facebook page and there you'll be able to set yourself some reminders to make sure that you don't miss them. Talking of cyclocross, make sure you watch this next video. Si looks at and competes at the toughest cyclocross race in the world, the Three Peaks. And man, did he suffer. Check it out just down here.